We talk about stuff. It has to do with the market, usually, for the most part. Sometimes some other stuff. Sometimes this dude named Stockington tells us some weird shit that allows us to think that, you know what, maybe there are good people on the planet. He is the redeeming figure within the room. With this being said, good morning, Bender. How are you, sir? Here. So this morning was interesting. So I wake up, look at where all the tickers are. I'm like, oh, okay, it looks okay. It looks all right. I flip to the weather, see that it's 29 degrees outside, and I'm like, oh fuck, man, fuck. Walk downstairs. It's cold as all bloody hell downstairs. Like fucking cold, man. Light a fire, make the coffee, go outside, wait for the coffee as I'm having a smoke. And I had a glass of bourbon last night that I guess I didn't finish. There's just a little bit in there. And the top layer of the bourbon is just frozen over. Completely frozen over on top. So I had no other choice as I was waiting for the coffee than to crack it and kind of drink it like a slushy. I had no other choice because you can't waste bourbon. It's like you gotta. I thought so. I thought so. So yeah, that was that so far this morning. So that's the baseline for my day. And I sit here and I wait and I wait and I wait, and then we get some data. And I was like, well, fuck, Europe had CPI data. So I go back and I look at their data. It's like, it didn't go down, which means it went up. So that's not all that good. That kind of gave the baseline for the dollar being as high as it was this morning, which was awfully disappointing to see it being back over that 1250, over 1270. Starting to tease like it wanted to go back to 113. Which is a little bit much. And then I looked at the VIX. I was like, well, you ain't all that excited over there, homeboy. You're not really ready to go anywhere. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And then we had our data, and while building permits were up, housing starts were down significantly. So in looking at it in totality, we have to, at least from my standpoint, look at all the data that's come out since close yesterday as being a massive nothing burger and having no real push within the market as far as which way we go once we open. That's how I'm seeing and interpreting it. Like there was really nothing within any of these data points that say, okay, we need to pump the dollar, we need to pump the VIX. Nothing there. So in my overall guesstimation, I think we come down and we play with that 12 flat number again on the dollar. Maybe gets a deal with 1190. 113 will be resistance. Looking at UVXY and the VIX at 1250 on UVXY is going to be a real number to kind of deal with. They lose 1220 over there, and bull has a real chance to party. That's kind of how I see the setup from some of the things that I peek at, if you will. What do you have this morning? What can you give us this morning to make us think, huh? Give us a huh. You got a huh? No. Well, actually, yes. It wasn't a horse. It was it was my freshman roommate in college who would drink to blindness and spend his time sprinting up and down the halls trying to play football with anybody in the way, bowling people over and knocking them down and trying to corral him back in. This is the same guy who used to snore, and I used to take golf balls and fucking just beat him in the middle of the night when he would snore. Same guy who had to, his alarm clock, because he could never wake up, had to put thumbtacks on the reverse, on the snooze bar. So when he went to hit the snooze bar, he would smash his hand with thumbtacks. Same guy. So kind of the same, kind of different. Does it matter that he doubled my body weight? Does that make a difference at all? The dude was twice as big as me. Okay. Well, that's about as close as I can get to the whole thing. But please tell us the story. Mhm. Wow. She taught you a lesson. So it's like, but what about she just can't lure it in with carrots or like an apple or some like, that's awesome. So how was the competition yesterday? How'd she do? Progress? Does sound like a lot of work. You're going in circles and you offer it treats. Hmm. We'll go when it's ready to go. Hmm. All right. Well, yeah. Look. I don't know what to say about any of this. I got my supplies ready for the day. I don't have to go wandering for anything. Um, it's like it's going to be what it is. It's going to play out the way it will. No, I've got a couple of joints here ready to go. I found an old mushroom cap, so then I got that going for me. It's like so I'm ready to break the glass if necessary, but you know it's like it's going to be what it is market wise. Flow we can say that the flow at this level for whatever reason yesterday flow just doesn't give a fuck. It's like there were not call buyers, there were not put buyers in this area yesterday, all day yesterday. There just wasn't heavy activity. Um, we did see a decent amount of Friday 375s, but what changed the complexion of everything was that, you know, recycled or not headline on Apple as far as cutting production. That took the wind out of the sails for the most part, and they came in like rabid dogs trying to short Apple into the ground. That's going to be the theme. Hmm. I believe so. I believe so. So it's like similar but maybe different. Yeah, similar but maybe different. And it's like so they came in hot and heavy shorting it. You know, it's like we had the Netflix beat. Very impressive numbers by Netflix in my opinion. United Airlines, they put up good numbers also. So there's some elements within it that you know make the day interesting as far as whether or not people want to buy or sell some of these ZRs, and I think that has to be on watch. Has to be. Financials also. They've already reported it's like they had the little pops, they had the little dips on several names. how is that sector going to kind of shake out, either to make a move higher or go retest lows? It just look, it's a quadrillion-dollar question that nobody really has the answer to. So I'm not going to pretend like I do, other than I'm ready to break the glass if necessary. Stockington,
Hello.
which
Yeah, I got stuff. I had an interesting one yesterday. So at work yesterday, my boss just starts going into this thing about reason that he's had a long and happy marriage life is lowered expectations. And if you don't expect a lot out of your partner, then you'll never be disappointed. And so I was like, wait a second, this sounds very familiar. Wells just was going on and on about lowered expectations. So I was like, am I just a walking common denominator here that I just wherever I go, I get people to just lower their expectations. So pretty sure at this point I can do no wrong. One expects
this,
it. Yeah, perfect. I'm just a walking bar lower, I
yeah,
think.
I completely disagree with all that. I completely I have to, Bender. That's just not okay. It's not okay. It's like we're all capable of greatness. It's like, why lower expectations? Why not foster greatness? Yeah, I don't have the ability to do that in my world. I got this lady, you see. It's like she's just not. Yeah, just a different game. But please carry on, Stockington.
All right. Yes, and Fulano, he's very, very opinionated about food choices. So that's a talk for another day. Okay, levels adjusted, put the charts and the lines in the room. NVIDIA, just going to use this pre-market support line, potentially take it short, which was 117.70. There is a dark pool that helped it find support down there below at 116.75. So if we break this right out the bat, I'm going to give it some time to shake out. And then to the upside, I had this line up there at 120.7. Also, there's yesterday's lower orb above. That could be a good one to watch. 121.6. Amazon, they were hitting Amazon with calls pretty good yesterday. And dark pool. There's a lot of dark pool in the 116 area on Amazon. So if Amazon was to go down, this is also sitting on a fib where it's finding support pre-market 115.3. So it'd be pretty aggressive put target, but above, I had this line at 117.8.
And they were nailing the 117 calls on Amazon yesterday. They were consistently feeding those.
Yeah, they were hitting that repeatedly, and they were hitting it with dark pool. So I'm definitely interested on see what happens with Amazon. I put Roku on the list, but really deep down, I was like just waiting for this Netflix ER to be done to trade that again. But Roku, I had this line down here. Volume profiles lighting up 53 flat. And then I had a fib that's way above there at 56.4, but probably could go a little more aggressive, could use yesterday's low upper orb, excuse me. That would be like 55.25 area. And then I just threw in Netflix just because I'm going to watch it. 78.94 is where it stalled out during the ER run. And then I have this 260.85 is kind of lining up with the 377 on the 3 minute here pre-market. The only other things I would throw out, I posted in the room last night. We saw that CRM Phantom Print. It's like $20 above, so I'm gonna be watching for flow. See if we get anything kind of directional flow signals on CRM. And I do have alerts set to pop in the room here on Baba from Swan's list, as well as Apple if it was to break to the upside on his list. That's all I got.
All right, very good. Some interesting notes coming out of DC. This was fairly interesting, and I don't know if anybody wants to kind of contemplate this. It doesn't help our day within the market, but it's like it does kind of ask questions about the narrative, about inflation, where we are, why we are, how we are, where we are. Yesterday we had Bostic, I believe, coming out and said that the Fed can't do it alone. Oddly, that's what he said. And yesterday also we had in Congress, a display of some charts basically showing that over half of the higher prices that people are paying are being driven on the back of larger corporate profits. So always been my opinion that inflation will not subside until the people who set prices decide that, it's time for inflation to subside. In this country, we do not have price caps. We do not have government controls on pricing like they do in other countries. So in a lot of ways, eventually, even with the market being down, people are going to look at some of these corporate profits that are coming in at the clip that they are, and they're going to be like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Y'all are sitting here raking, and here we are. So narrative-wise, you have to continue to start looking at different things that are going to change, because of what the Fed is doing from the standpoint of raising rates is not having an impact on inflation, which thus far it is not. It has not come through on any of the data points that what they're doing is working. It has to beg the question, okay, so then what's the problem? What's the problem? So I guess we'll see when we get there. That's all I got. Bender, do you have anything else? Okay. Well, could have done without that fun fact. Aren't you fucking sunshine and rainbows over there? For fuck's sake, man. All right, so we have 17 minutes until open. 17 minutes till open. Let's see what we get. Let's see if anybody wants to play what we have, and go from there. Tesla has ER at close, so we got that. No, they've been around. They haven't gone anywhere. Can't say they're wrong. They're P and PG. They're not too bad. Not too shabby at all. So yeah, let's see what we get. Oddly, I'm going to revert back to Stockington and say I have no expectations at all in any capacity. Not only are they low, they're just non-existent. So whatever they're going to do, they're going to do. I will be watching the dollar. We'll be watching the VIX. That's all I got.